Hey, I'm Jen Vax with YourColorStyle.com, and I have a question here from the color analysis quiz asking about the difference between bright, cool, and deep and soft, cool, and deep. So this individual has described herself as having very black hair, pale skin, and a cool hazel eyes of a mix of cool brown, gold, and green, which is a very common cool hazel eyes, a mix of colors, and sometimes even has a little bit of a warm feeling to it. And she wants to know whether she should be choosing bright, cool, and deep as her color type or soft, cool, and deep as her color type. And so what's unique about someone that is cool and deep is that they can definitely bridge between the two. And there are some subtle differences that might help you decide whether or not you should choose bright or soft. The soft color palette, soft, cool, and deep, has more muted colors. The brightest colors in the palette are definitely muted and slightly grayed. They're not as strong as the brightest jewel tones. Also, that color palette has an even range from just a hair lighter than that color I just described going up to black. So the range is that darker range of color on the color wheel and in the color palette. Okay, pastels, lighter colors typically do not flatter someone that is soft, cool, and deep. However, because of your very dark hair, soft, cool, and deep individuals can often wear some brighter colors. What I've discovered as their version of brighter is usually the brightest color in the soft, cool, and deep color palette because it feels brighter when it's on them. Whenever you put a brighter color next to a muted color, it will appear brighter. And if you put that color next to an even brighter color, it will seem softer. Everything is relative. So if I were to put a pure, clear chroma, bright jewel tone onto someone that's soft, cool, and deep, it will feel entirely too bright and really kind of vibrate off of them. But if I were to find that same color slightly softened and put it on them, it'll feel more harmonious. It will still feel bright to them. It will still potentially match their personality, but it won't be the brightest jewel tone. Someone that's bright, cool, and deep wears those brightest jewel tones very well. They just look absolutely at home with them, and you don't see the color first, you see them first. Someone that's soft, cool, and deep that wants to wear that same clear chroma, bright jewel tone, you're going to see the color first and not them. Even if it doesn't look quote unquote bad, you're being lost within that color. In the question that this particular person wrote me, she tells me that she gets a lot of compliments on this very vibrant, bright teal top that she wears. It's a beautiful color. She says strangers will stop her on the street and compliment her on that color. And then she's wondering, well, maybe she should be wearing brighter colors. Well, I don't know exactly if she should be wearing brighter colors or not because I haven't seen her. But my gut tells me that if strangers are stopping you on the street, they are complimenting you on the color, but not necessarily the color on you. You need to listen for the words, wow, you look amazing in that color, or that color looks so beautiful on you, or that color is so you, wow. But if someone's just complimenting the color, like, oh, that's a beautiful color, that doesn't necessarily mean they're looking at you. They're looking at the color, and that might be your first clue that it might be too strong for you. This person also goes on to describe that she actually gravitates more towards the dark, cool colors going up to those jewel tones. My gut tells me this, based on how she describes herself and the fact that she has these interesting, cool hazel eyes. I would probably choose the soft, cool, and deep color palette because usually most people can wear that soft, cool, and deep can wear some of the brighter colors and be able to pull it off really well. Another way you can figure out potentially if you belong with bright, cool, and deep versus soft, cool, and deep is that bright, cool, and deep, especially with the high contrast of the black hair and pale skin, will look remarkably good in black and white high contrast patterns. Someone that is soft, cool, and deep has a lower contrast about them, and those high contrast patterns will feel off and kind of dance off of them. Again, it's the same thing with putting the brightest jewel tone on them, just a little bit too much. The bright, cool, and deep color palette is a very intense color palette. And if that doesn't sound like you, then you want kind of a notch down, a little bit less, and that would be the soft, cool, and deep color palette. I'm Jen Vax. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're trying to figure out what colors flatter you best, and most importantly, to learn what colors to avoid that drain you or overpower you, take the quiz out on yourcolorstyle.com/quiz. It's absolutely free, and it'll walk you through step by step on how you can figure out what types of colors are going to make you shine. I'm Jen Vax, and thanks for watching.